Hi, everyone, and welcome to Canada's Corner. Team Canada wins 4-3 in overtime against Czechia. And man, was this a good game. And I'm glad it didn't go to a shootout. That would have been a horrible way for this game to end. Imagine a tightly contested game like this ending in a shootout. Not just a regular shootout, a 5-person shootout where you can repeat the same shooter. Would have been horrible, would have sucked. Glad it didn't come to that. But Team Canada wins their quarterfinal game and they move on to the semifinals where they'll be playing either Sweden if they win tonight against the USA, which as of right now, second period just ended. They're down 1-0 to the States. I think the States will most likely win that game. If the States do win, then they play Switzerland. Looks like we'll be playing Switzerland in the semifinals. But let's break down the game, why don't we? In the first period, Connor McDavid gets it to Macklin Celebrini. How do you stop that? 1-0. On that play, Celebrini ties Evgeny Malkin, who played for Russia in 2006, for the most points as a teenager in the Olympics with NHL players present. Connor McDavid also ties the lead for the most points in a single Olympic series 4 games in with NHL players there with 11 points. He goes on to get another one and sets the record, passing to no other than Nathan MacKinnon. Celebrini also gets the record on that OT winner on that Mitch Marner goal. Whew, will we talk about that? Chef's kiss. Put some magic on it, but it's 1-0 at this point. Until Mark Stone turns it over in the neutral zone. And some slick passing finds Sedlick in front of the net, and it's a tie game just like that. Funny how things don't last very long. Then Seth Jarvis draws a holding call. Just as momentum swinging in the Czechia favor, Canada gets a power play, and they get momentum back, and they don't score on it. But that'll be the only time that they don't score. After that, Shea Theodore breaks his stick, and he's skating back to the bench to grab a brand new stick. And then he takes one look behind him, and he goes, holy I have Andre Palat skating right towards me, about to be home free. I don't have a stick, and I'm the only person here who can do anything other than the goalie. He makes the right decision. He goes back, shuts down the middle, and he makes a very good play. He keeps going to the bench to try to go get his stick, but he can't. He gets drawn back into the play. Honestly, after this, I think he should have just gotten his stick. He would have been more help with his stick out there than without it, but he does the right thing. He shuts it down, and it keeps it a tie game. Then there's an icing call on Czech. They ice it down just before the whistle. Macklin Celebrini, I don't know who he did it to, but he gets an interference call. He just holds him back so he can't negate the icing. But it was icing. He wasn't winning that foot battle. Give Celebrini a penalty there. Sure, soft call. He was not winning that icing. But as long as you don't miss a single call for the rest of the game, I'll forgive you. As long as you don't miss a single call. Sorry, just not very subtle foreshadowing. And then David Pastrnak. Have you heard of him? 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 I know Leafs fans have heard of him. David Pastrnak on the power play makes you pay. One-timer makes it 2-1. And you're getting outplayed in the first by Czechia. But it's okay. You take some... Look, you got the puck in the offensive zone. And then Tom Wilson... Why are you doing that? Why are you taking an offensive zone penalty? What? You're trailing. It's the final 3 minutes of the period. You cannot be taking an offensive penalty. And it goes to show he played less than 9 minutes tonight. He was on the top line, supposedly, besides Celebrini and McDavid. Now, they went back to the Celebrini, McDavid, McKinnon line a lot, especially with what happens to Sidney Crosby in the second period, which we'll get to. But you cannot be taking an offensive penalty like that. Luckily, his team bails him out. Canada kills it off. Huge kill for them. And they exit the first period down 2-1. Very tight game. Very slow start for Canada yet again. And I would have been more worried if they haven't done this for the past 3 games that they've played in this. They seem to come out a little slow in the first period, and they carried up. But this is the first time since 2010 that Team Canada has been trailing. Over 800 minutes of ice time, game time. They haven't trailed in the Olympics with NHL players there. Insane. Also the first time, obviously, that these Olympics that Team Canada's been trailing, if it's been going on since 2010, but it's crazy to think that a David Pastrnak shot can ruin great things for all teams wearing the Maple Leafs. Sorry, let's get back to Team Canada. Forget about these guys. Second period, McDavid gets it to Cale Makar and he rips it off the pipe. And all of a sudden, I just go, and I can exhale, I can breathe out. Because this team is stacked. And looking at them from top to bottom, there's not too much to worry about when you're playing Czech. But you are down 2-1. At least you have Sidney Crosby, right, guys? Right? All Team Canada goes. And then Radko Gudas goes, not for long. Crosby got awkwardly hit by Gudas. He goes to the bench, favoring that right leg. Eventually goes off into the room. And in the second intermission, Team Canada announces that Sidney Crosby won't return for the remainder of the game. Hoping it's not too bad. Looked like a bit of a groin injury. He is getting older. Need that guy. That's the golden goal. That's the golden goal kid. Sidney Crosby is not only one of the greatest NHL players that are playing right now, even at his age, he is one of the greatest Canadian hockey players of all time. He's one of the greatest hockey players of all time. You need a guy like that in your lineup. He brings so much to you, especially that third line, that Marner, Crosby, Stone line. Is probably the only line this year that hasn't been broken up until now because of an injury. And it was just such a fun line to watch and such a hard line to play against. And although it sucks losing Sidney Crosby, because obviously that's horrible, we just went over why that's so horrible. Team Canada stepped it up after that. You knock down Captain Canada and Team Canada responds. That's their captain. That's their captain. They are faster with the puck. They're harder on the puck. They're forechecking better. They took the volume and they cranked it up. From that slow starting first period, not again. Team Canada went on to outshoot them 16-5 in that second period. 16-5. Are you kidding? Obviously, having Sidney Crosby would help. Obviously, Team Canada probably would have taken a step as well, but it's the fact that once their captain went down, that was it. We're not playing around anymore. It's go time. You're going to pay for that. And who else other than Nathan MacKinnon from Connor McDavid, who set the lead on this point on the power play? No chance for Dostal. McDavid, what a pass to get it through a bunch of bodies to MacKinnon in front of the net. MacKinnon shoots it. There's two players screening Dostal. It might have gone off one of their legs. I don't think it did. It just beats him cleanly. He couldn't see the puck at all. No chance. 2-2. It's tied. So you go into that first intermission, or you go into the second period, down 2-1. Very close game. Maybe even give Czechia the edge there. Not just because of the goals, just playing overall. And you don't let them do that again. That second period was a statement period for Team Canada against this team for knocking down their captain. And then we go to the third. And with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left to go, Andre Palat scores off of just a horrible coverage. Like Nick Suzuki and Drew Doughty, they struggled to sort out the 3-on-2 coverage on that goal. And that almost ended Canada's Olympic tournament. And I was so upset at them. And then we watched the play back. And I want you to look at the blue circles. Because Team Canada right now has 5 people on the ice. And right now, what you see is 5 blue circles. Because that's how many players Czechia should have on the ice, right? A shot gets blocked and there's a break. And you might be saying, a 3-on-2 break? What are you talking about? The Canadian guy has him locked up. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's 6. The refs let 6 Czechia players not just block a shot, not just on a play on accident. They let them score a goal with 6 players on the ice in an Olympic tournament that almost ended Team Canada's season. If that's game, that ends Canada's tournament. As a country, we have to rush Italy, demand these guys are fired, and then I don't even know what you do at that point. Because that goal shouldn't count. The refs tonight were Michael Holm from Sweden, Chris Rooney from the USA, and then the linesmen were David Brisebois from Canada and Johnny Murray from the USA. All 4 of those guys deserve to lose their jobs. For real, they deserve to lose their jobs upright. You let, I know you can't have bias. You have a Canadian linesman. Obviously, he's going to cheer for Team Canada. I'm not saying you should be biased. You're watching that and you're not like, hey guys, pretty sure Czechia has 6 guys and Canada only has 5. No wonder they gave up that 3-on-2 break and couldn't figure it out. They had 6 people on the ice. One of them blocked a shot. Luckily, that wasn't the end of the tournament for Team Canada. Nick Suzuki with 3:27 to go, doing it all himself on the end of a line change. Man, that is the most important goal of his entire career. Speaking of most important goals of anyone's career, we will get to that a little bit. Subtle foreshadowing. But first, with a minute 10 left in the period, Marty Necas has a breakaway. That's never good. Cale Makar is like, oh, it's okay, Necas. Wait, he's not on my team. I'm kidding. But Jordan Binnington makes a huge stop. And then he gets the rebound too. Breakaway by Necas, walks in, Binnington gets it, picks up the rebound, and to overtime we go. Now in overtime, rules are a little different. It's a 10-minute 3-on-3, and then it's a 5-man shootout. Only 5 men, and you can recycle your shooters as often as you want. What a horrible way this game would have ended if it ended in a 5-man shootout, and all we got to see was David Pastrnak versus Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, and Nathan MacKinnon in a shootout. It just would have been an absolutely horrible. They got to change that rule. Would have been a horrible way for this game to go, especially since it was so close. To end in a shootout? What? No. In overtime, McDavid and MacKinnon were out there for a while, about a minute. They're in the defensive zone. Binnington has to make a huge stop so McDavid and MacKinnon can just get off the ice. They're dying to. Mitch Marner, Macklin Celebrini, Thomas Harley come out. Harley gets it to Celebrini, who gets it to Mitch Marner, who walks in, goes by all the defenders, and puts it upstairs. Mitch Marner, the redemption goalie, puts some magic on it. Magic 6. That's what the video is called, the Magic 6. Because Mitch Marner's got some magic on him. The last thing I want to mention is ice time tonight. Tom Wilson played 8 minutes and 33 seconds tonight. Could that have been partly because he made a stupid offensive zone penalty and because they had to do Celebrini, McDavid, MacKinnon, the Big Mac line all night? Probably. That's probably part of it. But Travis Sanheim played 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Colton Parayko, 10 minutes, 17 seconds. Cale Makar, 26:41. Played this man for almost half of the game. Now, I know Cale Makar is the best defenseman in hockey right now. You have other guys, too. Could have called up Evan Bouchard. Could have made the team. Be better to play him than Travis Sanheim for less than 9 minutes a night, I'll tell you that much. Brad Marchand played 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Why do you need him and Wilson out there? Unless you're just doing a Marchand-Bennett-Wilson line. I don't know. I don't really know. Neither did John Cooper. That's why he played him for 7 minutes. And then Crosby played 5:55. Marchand played less than 2 minutes more than Sidney Crosby. And Crosby went out a quarter into the second period. Same with Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson played less than 3 minutes more than Sidney Crosby. That's just insane. I just don't get how you can manage a team like that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click like. If you really liked it, click subscribe. Canada, baby. We'll see how this game goes tonight between the U.S. and Sweden. Third period is about halfway through now. So, U.S. is still up 1-0. I'm going to watch that game right now. Women's hockey, we're going to the final. There will be a video for that. Going for gold. It's our country, our sport, baby. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click like. If you liked it, click and subscribe. Makes me feel pretty good. And I hope to see you in the next one.